Hey everybody, in the last episode I was mentioning that there was something I forgot to do, something I wanted to do, and what that was going here. I tend to like doing it as young Link. Sorry, the mic was a little far away. I tend to like doing it as young Link, but it doesn't really matter, so I changed out of young Link and into adult Link, because that's what we're gonna do now. And I figured there wasn't any point in showing that. So this is the thing I wanted to do, since we got the 40 sculptures. So that's taken care of, so now we can go back to the mountain, the volcano. I guess, is a volcano a mountain? It's just a mountain that's on fire? I think maybe it is. Well, maybe not. I don't know. So we can get this one. Let's see. Is that the first? Oh, there's two. I almost forgot, but thankfully I was thinking about it, so I also want to make sure to go to Goron City. Oh. This actually is not the most efficient way to go to Goron City, though. I don't think. I think that's the fairy place, right? Maybe it isn't. Yes, it is. The fairy fountain, that is. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, or if it's common knowledge, but the more heart pieces, the more heart containers you have, the more time you have in those, death situations. So, like, in the volcano or when you're underwater. So that's why you get more time. Yeah, they just say, thank you, Link, so that's really generic. But we want to talk to the Goron Link, at least. That's not him. Let's see if he just says, thank you, Link. I think they do. They get, like, the most generic dialogue in, like, the game. As far as, once you rescue them. They could have had at least two different lines. But then, I guess the Zoras don't get anything, because they're pretty much dead? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can free them, too, in addition to the princess, but I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't talk too much about that. Strong man like you. Oh, that's sweet. I guess maybe I should have started out here and then walked down to the village. Whatever. Okay, so now that that's done... Let's see, I want to go to Lake Hylia. It's an easy way to get there. Wait, is that... No, not Lake Hylia. I want to go to the Zora Fountain. But I don't think there's an easy way to get there. Not as Adult Link, because you can't use the shortcut. Wait, maybe you can use the shortcut in the forest. Because it's not something you crawl under. Yeah, okay, we saw that. At least I don't think this is too small. Yeah, I think this would be big enough. So, obviously we already talked to the King Zora, but now that we have the boots... Well, I guess we had the boots to begin with, but I just wanted to get the Pigaron quest out of the way as soon as possible, to get the sword as soon as possible. Although, we... Did we not go to the... Yeah, we definitely had the hook shot. We would have had to have gotten that, I think. So I don't see why I didn't do this. Go to the bottom of the lake. Maybe I did go to the bottom of the lake and I just forgot about it. This is quite the mystery. Why didn't I do this earlier? I won't equip the boots yet, though. I'm pretty sure I did not do this, but... Maybe you need the Eye of Truth for something? I don't think so. That's more Majora's Mask's wheelhouse. Must be on this side, because that was way too small. Yeah, here it is. I think there's a heart container at the bottom here. Unless, of course, we already collected it. But I don't think so. Yeah, here it is. I know we could have gotten this because... to get out of the Ice Temple... Or, you know, I got the tunic, and you get the boots for getting in the ice, not temple, obviously, but the ice cave. Let's see, do you use this for anything? I don't think so. Like I said, you know, you might in Majora's Mask, but this doesn't get much use in this game. So I suppose we can climb up this. No. Oh, we can. Okay, cool. Like, there was some area, I think it's that one over there. Yeah, there it is. So, like in Majora's Mask, you'd use this to see, like, the ladder that's hidden. I'm pretty sure I've gotten up there before, and that you did it through, like, a cave down here. Or, I don't know, maybe I just imagined that. That seems to be the case, because I think I saw a video not terribly long ago that was talking about, you know, they thought maybe the Triforce would be here or something like that. But I thought there was like a gold skulltula up in that cave area. So I guess I just don't know what I'm talking about. I want to get up there and take a closer look, though. Let's see, where is that? That's up there. But it's not, there's not like an entrance over here. Pretty sure I knew how... I'm gonna look around a little more. I know this is stupid. It's amusing how long it takes to go down and up in this lake. Like, it's just that deep. I think what I was waiting for... I know what I was waiting for. We'll just have to wait a little longer to sew that off, though. For some reason, I got it in my head that diving had something to do with this area. It might have just been that I wanted to show off just how not very far diving gets you, like even at the maximum. Like, you know, when you first dive, you think you can go deep, and then you get the first upgrade, and you're like, oh wow, this is really deep. And then you get this one, and then you're like, okay, you must be able to dive to the very bottom of anything. But actually, even that doesn't get you probably even halfway to the bottom there. Although I think it might be faster than the iron boots, so maybe you want to do that at first, and then when you get as far as you can, then use the boots, but I could be wrong. So, I was waiting to get the diving, you know, the maximum diving for whatever reason. I don't remember if I thought you needed it for this, or if it was I just wanted to show that off. I say show off in a relative way. So unfortunately, we can't use that entrance anymore to get to Lake Hylia. But then again, we have a warp, so I guess that isn't so bad. Not so bad at all. I guess if you had to exchange one for the other, the warp's better because you can do it from anywhere. But it does feel like you're losing something when you don't have that. Okay, so was there something else here? I think maybe there was. Maybe not, though. Seems like there was some other piece of heart I wanted around here. I do remember that I want to go talk to the scarecrows, so let's do that real quick. And then I guess we'll just move on. Yeah, it's all frozen over right there. I wonder how long this tunnel's supposed to be, because we're here at Lake Hylia, and Zora's domain is all the way over here. So, you have to... There has to be an area in this tunnel where there isn't any water, because Link wouldn't be able to swim all that way as young Link, because... he doesn't have the water tunic back then, so he's, you know, he has to come up for air. Hold on a second. So there must be an area. Hold on, what? Yes, there we go. Okay, now we should be able to get him. I think we did that in the original recording, but it didn't happen in the second one, so I guess we're just doing it again. I don't know why I'm just noticing this now, but so the fact that they're, well, for starters, why should this area be frozen right here? Like, I guess if it's magic, then that it's like, oh, any water that's at all connected to Zora's domain is frozen. It's not like it's a natural phenomenon. It's just, you know, dark magic of some kind. I don't know if that's the explanation, but I don't see any particular reason why it should be frozen all the way over here when the parts that's freezing is, like, on literally the other side of the map. Like, I understand it being blocked off there, and obvious, well, but just physically, why should it also be frozen over here? Unless, like I said earlier, it's actually because it's the magic. So it's like that, and that's anywhere that's considered to be part of Zora, and maybe in a sense of, you know, this obviously isn't Zora's domain, but I guess you could say that that particular water that's in that tunnel, it's kind of like a, Oh, you know, an embassy. It's like, well, it's, it's like how an embassy is considered a part of the country that it is the embassy of. Oh, rats. And here's everyone's favorite temple, and that's the reason why. Honestly, it's not even the puzzle that I think most people hate. I mean, it it kind of adds to it, but I think it's actually just the constantly switching between these two. And why was I off that page? I guess that's what happens when you enter a dungeon. It resets the pause menu. Never noticed that before, assuming that that's actually what happened there, but it must be, right? We can see her standing there without actually activating the cutscene. And then she just floats up. And then we take our boots off and float up too. Oh, I just saw her shadow disappear. Ugh. Ugh. And then she's just nowhere to be seen. We don't see her again. She just decided... I don't know, maybe... Not kidnapped per se, but like, maybe as soon as she was out of sight, she was just immediately summoned to the... Not the spirit realm. Is that what it... Something realm. Because I can't think of any other reason why she would have just disappeared. I mean, Darunia makes sense. You know, besides the fact that there's only usually one boss room key, so where did he get a copy from? Diddly-lee-lee. But she just up and disappears without a trace. Lots of arrows. Is it to make up for the fact that you use arrows to get into this room? Because I don't think you use a bunch of arrows in this dungeon otherwise. Just like one other area. I actually kind of like this dungeon, but maybe that's mostly just because... Well, maybe it's just because of the who's associated with it, but also just... Are we ready for this room? I guess we are. Oh, no we're not. Oh, wait a second, are we good? Oh, okay, so he fell down enough. I guess I'm just going to be checking a bunch of these rooms. Like I was saying earlier, there was a time... Well, there was a time where I at least wouldn't have made that mistake. I would have at least memorized the first couple of steps of this dungeon, if not the whole thing. You know, I'll probably forget that one key. Definitely... Oops. But other than that, I have this. I originally had this dungeon pretty well remembered, but then again, has been a while. I think if you have the Master Sword, you have the spin attack to get that. Not so with the Bigoron sword. That's really good music too. It's very mysterious. Oops. Let's see, there's something... Oh, here it is, actually. So this part, and something about the fire temple, I used a lot of internal RAM in my head to make sure I didn't forget this in case I one day played this game. You know, because it was my cousin who played this game, you know, when I first saw it. And I didn't know if I would ever play it, but if I did, someday, which did eventually happen several years later, you know, when I finally worked up the gall, but I made sure to never forget that that bit right there. Huh? How'd they all break like that? Oops. What's up? The part where you have to turn around and go down into the spikes. And I feel like I didn't develop properly because I used so much what I call RAM to remember that. Like, it was harder to... I don't know if this is true at all, but it seems like it was harder to remember things for school because of how much energy I was using to make sure I didn't forget about that. So it's not like the way you memorize a game just passively because of how much you play it. Oh, that got us turned around. What the heck? Because that doesn't take up a lot of space. But it's like it was formatted in my brain in such a way. It's like it's HD or something like that. That's the way I always interpreted it anyway, and I knew it was probably messing with other things, but like I couldn't help it, I guess. So I did not want to get stuck there in case I ever one day played this game. So it was for something I didn't even know if I would ever actually take advantage of. Oh. Alright, well, I guess we're at about the time where we would end an episode, so see you in the next one, and we'll see what's on the other side of this door.